Yo. Hey family, thank you for tuning in. Before I go into my actual results, I want to talk a little bit about why I bought the exam to begin with and what I'd hoped to get out of it. The intention behind that was to find out more about my biological family. I wasn't raised by my biological mother or father, and the handful full of people that I do know, they're all on my biological mother's side, whom I knew came from a Jamaican mother and Bayesian father. So that I knew. I knew there would be some signs in the Caribbean. You know, there's some migration back and forth there to surrounding islands. So I knew I'd see that. However, I have no idea the identity of my father. My grandmother doesn't know. I've been hearing different stories and different names for 30 years. And there was just a time, I've always been looking and searching for certain things throughout my life. And different exams like Ancestry DNA and 23andMe, they provide answers that sometimes your parents don't have, your grandparents don't have or want to share. For me, knowing exactly who you are and the threads that make you you is important. And when you have that foundation and when you have that kind of backing and that knowledge, and you can trace lines back and connect and know where you're from and how you got here, it empowers where you're going. And even though I have been blessed again with a beautiful family and with education and opportunities and spirit guiding me every step through, there's always been curiosities about where I'm from. And sometimes I would just look at my face and like say to myself, who do you resemble in the world? One person that I do know is my grandmother. She grew up in a time where there was no questions asked. In Jamaica, and I guess many of you can speak to that if you've ever tried to ask your grandparents difficult questions and they've kind of been hesitant or kind of shooed you away. Even now, to this day, there are things that I ask her and she struggles to give me the answer, or she says that she doesn't have. I understand then why a grandparent would want to protect you from certain answers that may be given, that may be hurtful, that maybe cause trauma, that could affect schooling and just my day to day. I completely understand that. But as an adult, even now, I will ask my grandmother things and it's like pulling teeth, and it's frustrating because I love her and I understand that she comes from a place and a time where your mother said this was who your siblings are, this was who your siblings are. Your mother said that this is your auntie, that's your auntie, and you're not asking questions. And I know that we are a society now that we want to know the who, what, where, why, and hows of everything. I mean, look, there's Google all day. Asking Google everything, just random questions all day on Google. Me being in that space of wanting to know, wanting to feel more complete, and my grandmother being in the space of, I don't have anything to tell you, whether it's because she doesn't feel like she has the answer, or there are things that she just doesn't want to share. It blurs our relationship sometimes because I still feel, even today, that she's hiding things or she's just choosing not to say things from whatever it is. I know it could be embarrassment, it could be who knows. Grandparents sometimes get me with the amount of things that they keep, like were they really ever married, or if they had the children out of wedlock, like who cares? But to them back then, there were things that they were never spoke of, should not happen, deadly sins, nobody but me and God knows type of things. So while I love her and I understand that that's from a specific time and place, I realize that there are some things that I can't get from her. So, Ancestry DNA. So this is the home screen. When you sign on to AncestryDNA.com, this is what you'll see. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major highlighted portions of the map, and then I also have on the left side, it'll have the percentage breakdown of each. And here they list all the regions of the continents that I'm from, where my family originated. So for Africa, you see there's 9 regions. There's North Africa, Africa South Central hunter gatherers, Africa Southeastern Bantu, Benin to Togo, Cameroon, Congo, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Mali, Nigeria, and Senegal. All of them are highlighted and circled, as you can see. And I went to the Americas. You see there's 31 regions. However, did it not go to that? Oh, yeah. However, none of the regions have any colors. They're just in gray, which means that there are no connections. It says that there's no connections at all in that area. Then I moved on to Asia. It says Asia Central and Asia East. So not much there. Moving right along. I went over to Europe, which has 117 regions, colored circles in this area. For Europe East, there's no connections. Europe South, no connections. Europe West has 6%. Great Britain has less than 1%. Iberian Peninsula, my fingers are moving quick, had no percent either, or did it have 1? Yes, 1%. Ireland, 1%. Scandinavia. Ireland, less than 1%. Scandinavia, 4%. Get out of Europe, and I went on to Pacific Islander. Of the 3 regions, there's no connections. East Asia, of the 4, there's no connections at all. So the majority of my connections were in Africa, as you can see. Then I went back to the page on percentage. The largest percentage that I have is 29%, and that is Ivory Coast, Ghana. Excited about that. Okay, why you ask? So the breakdown of everything was Ivory Coast, Ghana, 29%, Cameroon, Congo, 22%, Benin, Togo was 13%, Nigeria was 12%, Africa, Southeastern Bantu was 7%. So I'm black. 29 plus 22 plus 13 plus 12 plus 7, 83% black. Okay? Feels very good to my soul and in my veins. So yes, the lower confidence regions were Europe West, 6%, Scandinavia, 4%, Africa North, 2%, Mali, 1%, and Iberian Peninsula, 1%. Asia Central, less than 1%. Asia East, less than 1%. Ireland, Scotland, Wales, less than 1%. Great Britain, less than 1%. And then they talk about the migrations. We didn't migrate. We were stolen. But we're not going to go there. Completely different video. Ancestry DNA breaks down not only the ethnicity percentages and then the specific regions, but they also show you the ethnicity timeline. So it'll start, as you can see here, it started from the 1800s, and it shows where your family was from the 1800s to 1925, and they show it by the intensity of these circles. So as you see right now, in the 1800, the most filled in circles are Jamaica, of course, and Barbados. Also a pretty moderate, it almost looks bigger, and you tell me, bigger than Barbados was Puerto Rico. I feel there's no coincidence. The family that raised me, my father, he's Puerto Rican. So all my life I've been saying I'm Jamaican and Puerto Rican. God is so funny. So good, so great, so awesome, but funny. Also, you'll see a few dots around Guadalupe, Haiti, and Bahamas. I ain't mad at that at all. We move on to 1825, and as you see, the Jamaica dots just keep getting more dense, filled. If you see, there's some additional circles in there. Once we go over to 1900s, something completely shifts. There's now a line of migration from Barbados. Jamaica is still highlighted and very central to where I am from, and I am. But there's a line that goes from Barbados to Panama and then up to New Jersey. You can see it encompasses a little bit of New York as well. So I thought the accuracy of that movement was pretty shocking. And if you see, going into 1925, there are lines that go straight from Jamaica, which is a little less dense, to Panama. Panama was never highlighted previous to 1900s. If you are ready to get a peek into who you are and where you're from and begin to see the materials that make you you, I would say take it. I'm probably going to be reflecting on this a lot tonight, but I thank you for listening. I don't normally do long videos at all, but my cousin Sade, which y'all need to follow, Sade Watkins, she is an amazing person. And recently, she posted a video, a very transparent video about her relationship with her mom. When I saw the video, I texted her. Her job was to be transparent, to share her story, so all those people, including me, her cousin, could be free to tell ours. There are things that we need to do in our life in order for those people to be free to do what they have to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's something that I believe. Now I'm crying. Okay. Family is important, y'all, whether it's biological, self-created, God-given, and so find your tribe. I've been blessed to have so many tribes, even though the biological one wasn't meant to be the tribe that raised me, you know? But I have literally been raised by strangers, by angels, by divinely placed people, thousands of people that didn't know me. And that's God. Thank you for listening in. If you like this video and want to know more about my past, or about Ancestry DNA, the process, I will link part 1 down below. I thank you for giving an ear and giving your time and space to this video. It's a very emotional one, but I thank you for listening. I love each and every one of you. Please comment. You don't have to like. You really don't even have to subscribe if you don't want to. But I'd love for you to just comment and give me your feedback. Peace. What?